So, on this episode of the Debasement Index, we're going to cover how Grandpa skipped his meds again and the shenanigans that he's getting into. So, Trump tacos, and in response, Bitcoin skyrockets. We're going to keep a short video today, guys. If you get value from this video, go ahead and subscribe. We're almost at 100 subscribers. We're at 76 right now. I want to thank you guys from the bottom of my heart. This is super exciting. If you like the video, hit the like, comment. Hit the like button, hit the comments, let me know what you think, and let's get into Bitcoin showing some hope, because the world is starting to show some signs of hope. So on this episode of the Debasement Index, Trump tacos, Bitcoin skyrockets. Let's get into it, guys. All right, guys, so welcome back. This is a Debasement Index. My name is Angel Rios, and this is a channel solely focused on building capital in a fiat world together. And y'all, I really try not to get individually political with people, with whoever is in government, in office. What I'd like to get political about is monetary debasement, how they're stealing wealth from you, and the policies that affect that behavior and that trend, okay? But we have to talk about this because Bitcoin has been under severe geopolitical pressure. So let's talk about what pressure that is. If we pull up, this is the tweet that had the whole entire world on edge, just absolutely on edge, guys. So Donald Trump tweeted in this tweet, and this is the one after the one he posted about open up the effing straight, etc. He said, "A whole civilization will die tonight, never to be brought back again. I don't want that to happen, but it probably will. However, now that we have complete and total regime change, where different, smarter, and less radicalized minds prevail, maybe something revolutionarily wonderful can happen. Who knows? We will find out tonight. One of the most important moments in the long and complex history of the world. 47 years of extortion, corruption, and death will finally end. God bless the people of Iran." So this had the whole entire world on edge. I mean, everybody was absolutely stressed out as to what was going to happen next. And the markets were shaky. If something would have happened, you would have seen a huge market collapse. But it didn't, which is good. And I'm super happy about that. I want the world to go back to peace. Hopefully everybody can go back to the respective corners and figure it out. But we'll talk about the ceasefire and exactly what that means for what we're doing here, right? Preparing for monetary debasement. But before we get to that, this next tweet is the tweet that put everybody else to rest. And it's Donald Trump saying that he went ahead and accepted the ceasefire. Okay, so let me pull that up and let's go ahead and read it and get into it. All right, so this is from the president. "Based on conversations with Prime Minister Shehbaz Sharif and Field Marshal Asim Munir of Pakistan, and wherein they requested that I hold off the destructive force being sent tonight to Iran, and subject to the Islamic Republic of Iran agreeing to complete, immediate, and safe opening of the Strait of Hormuz, I agreed to suspend the bombing and attack of Iran for a period of 2 weeks. This will be a double-sided ceasefire. The reason for doing so is that we have already met and exceeded all military objectives and are very far along with a definitive agreement concerning long-term peace with Iran and peace in the Middle East. We received a 10-point proposal from Iran and believe it is a workable basis on which to negotiate. Almost all of the various points of past contention have been agreed to between the United States and Iran, but a 2-week period will allow the agreement to be finalized and consummated. On behalf of the United States of America as president, and also representing the countries of the Middle East, it is an honor to have this long-term problem close to resolution. Thank you for your attention in this matter. President Donald J. Trump. Now, guys, whether you agree with him or not, on what he's doing. I think the majority of Americans um, stand on the same page on this one. This is positive. This is positive for the world in general. Now, is it positive for America? Is it positive for the petrodollar? Is it positive for the dollar as a whole? Guys, no, it is not. It is not by any stretch, because in that 10-point plan, that Iran is demanding, they still control the Strait of Hormuz, right? They can still enrich uranium. They're not giving up their missiles. So basically, Iran is going to become a hegemonic power in the region, and when it does, and they control the Strait of Hormuz, and they control the oil flow, so on and so forth, that is going to absolutely threaten the sovereignty of the petrodollar in the area, and indeed around the world, because you still have BRICS nations to contend with. It's not just the Strait of Hormuz, right? There's nations across the world trading oil in yuan now, in Chinese yuan, and not the US dollar, which is bringing US dollar demand down, as we can see that the fact that the Federal Reserve has to continue to step in on a greater and greater basis in order to cover the demand for US dollars, so the government can continue to Ponzi scheme its way through debt in order to fund its operations. And this is how most countries operate, but America being the largest of them all and kind of the global hegemon right now. Now, I'm an American, I'm a patriot. I don't like it when I see America on the ropes. We're definitely on the ropes right now. However, as a person, as a citizen of the world, as a human being, I do think this is a positive step towards hard money, because fiat currency, whether it's 10 years from now, 20 years from now, 30 years from now, it's on its last legs overall. And I think the human consciousness is going to come back to hard money. Now, why I think this is bullish for Bitcoin? Well, let's go ahead and check out the Bitcoin chart upon these news and what exactly happened. All right, so here's the Bitcoin chart, you guys. Now, for y'all who don't know, taco is an expression that came about the fact that whenever this president announces big, aggressive, particularly military action events that he's going to do, or actions that he's going to do, he chickens out. Whether he's done it with the tariffs, he's done it with military, big military announcements like this one that he was doing, where he was going to eradicate a whole entire civilization. The term taco comes out, and it's something that's become part of political culture, and it stands for Trump always chickens out. So on this taco, you see this amazing green Bitcoin candle. Okay, it went from between 66, 67,000 all the way to 72,500, 72,800 just about, and then starts leveling out again. That's in an instant, and it shows you just how much liquidity can pump into Bitcoin on relatively bullish news. What happens when the war is over? Okay? What happens when the conflict is over, guys? What happens when we start getting good news again, which will happen, I'm sure, and we start getting into a Bitcoin bull market? 126,000, which was the previous top from October, can be reached relatively quickly. And this is why I always stress time in the market, not timing the market. Just continue to stay in it. Oil prices on the news plummeted to below 100. It had a high of 116, but crude oil by the barrel was at 150 today. And it's plummeted just on these news below 100. Hopefully, it hasn't been long enough to where oil prices will stay elevated and hurt the economy. Now, Why is all these things that I am talking about bullish for Bitcoin? The thing that Bitcoin reacts to the most, okay, is excess liquidity in the economy. And that only happens when the Fed decides to turn the money printer on, right? Printer go burr. All these things that are occurring is setting up the stage for a massive liquidity crisis, and it's setting up the base for a bond crisis in particular, where the Federal Reserve is going to it always is, the buyer of last resort. And they are going to inject a ton of new money into the system. And that is incredibly bullish for Bitcoin because Bitcoin is a sponge for excess liquidity. And I don't make predictions on this channel, but if this foundation ends up creating an environment where the Fed has no choice, the Federal Reserve has no choice but to print money, we're going to see another Bitcoin bull market fast and quick, y'all. So these are the bullish news that I wanted to share you guys amid all the unfortunate things that are going on. But the ceasefire is a good thing. Peace is a good thing. So let's see if we can give peace a chance. And again, this is setting up Bitcoin perfectly because it thrives in these kinds of environments, guys. So stay in the market. Don't time the market. Spend time in the market. Guys, this is the Basement Index. If you feel like I've earned your subscription, go ahead and hit the subscribe button. And I will see you guys on the next one. Great news today.